What creature has survived 5 mass extinctions and is over 450 million years old? You may not have known it, but it's the horseshoe crab, and they need our help. Cornell Cooperative Extension Marine Program has been studying this important creature since 2006.
My husband Mark and I got involved about 14 years ago. We had contacted Chris Smith, who was running the Marine program at that time, and he introduced me to Dr. Matt Sclafani. And Matt is one of the leading researchers globally in horseshoe crabs, and he put us together with Pike's Beach and trained us to walk the beaches at night, and has always continually over the last 14 years been an educator with us and with the groups that come out there.
The horseshoe crab plays a very important role in the ecosystem. Their eggs provide an energy source for migratory shorebirds and for many of the other fish that migrate on our coastlines. They eat the larvae and the eggs when they hatch. So they have many ecosystem services, and of course the reproduction is important for the horseshoe crab itself, that they sustain their own populations. In addition to that, from the ecosystem benefits, humans also benefit from horseshoe crabs in many ways. We actually have benefited from their blood, which we extract. Their blood is highly reactive to gram-negative bacteria, and it forms a very viscous gel around a wound or an injury on the animal. And what we've done is spin that around and use that as a diagnostic to test for contamination in vaccines or intravenously injected medicines or prosthetic devices. Because it's so reactive, it has really become the FDA gold standard as a diagnostic for detecting gram-negative bacteria contamination in all the vaccines and other intravenous medicines.
The horseshoe crabs are a very unique animal. They're used for bait, they're used for eel and conch bait, they're used for blowfish pot bait, they're used for biomedical, which is really important. I have talked to a few people in the horseshoe crab industry that are on the, basically the people that look at them and basically monitor them, and they're very concerned about the harvest of the horseshoe crabs. It's something that's been going on for 100+ years. I'm hoping that it'll continue to go on, but we need a balance. And if there's a way to make a bait that works better, more efficient, and you catch more, either more eels or more conchs, that's what the fishing's about. It's working smarter, not harder.
The first discussions of alternate bait kind of came with a conversation that I had with Ed Warner. Ed obviously has fished for a long time and knows the waters and wants to protect the bays, and he told me about the importance of the horseshoe crab. And Ed told me that 500,000 baits are used each year by 25 baymen, our local baymen in the waters, to use in eel and whelk traps. It's 500,000 baits. That's a lot of bait, and they're using a quarter of a horseshoe crab, and they're taking the horseshoe crabs when they're breeding, and they select for the egg-rich females. So you're taking something while it's breeding off the beaches. So it sets up this dilemma, and I said to Ed, we've got to find a solution to this. There's got to be a better way. I mean, 500,000 baits is 125,000 horseshoe crabs. So this is why we got to Cornell.
My name is Emerson Hasbrouck, and I'm a senior natural resources educator with Cornell Cooperative Extension Marine Program. I'm also the governor's appointee to the Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission, and through the commission, we manage marine species within 3 miles of the coast from Maine to Florida, and included in that are horseshoe crabs. So we've developed and implemented a fishery management plan for horseshoe crabs through the commission. There's interest in developing an artificial bait that has some horseshoe crab components in it, but utilizes other items as well to help reduce the harvest pressure on horseshoe crabs, and also to perhaps reduce the bait cost to commercial fishermen.
So this researcher started to wonder what it is that made horseshoe crab bait so attractive to the eels and the conch. They teamed up with some other researchers, I think DuPont was involved with that, where they actually broke down what it was as far as chemical signatures within a typical horseshoe crab bait that the eel and conch will go for.
Our plan is to enlist some local baymen to set their gear and use both horseshoe crab bait and artificial bait in a series that we develop in a scientific process so that we can get statistically valid results comparing the catch of an artificial bait and the natural horseshoe crab bait.
It's diversifying the bait, but it's also using a lot less of the horseshoe crab and making the fishery much more, it works much better.
We were hoping to receive outside funding for this through grant agencies, but we've not had any success. We've had good feedback on it, and our neighbors to the north and to the south and the other states have had limited testing on this. So we're hoping that you can make a contribution to make this possible so that we can run this research test and determine if we can actually make it a useful bait for baymen to keep them on the water, but also keep our horseshoe crabs healthy well into the future for generations to enjoy.